Next question is about wave propagation. So here very important part is that we have four different types of the wave propagation is there. A sky wave, ground wave, a space wave. Okay, so out of ionospheric wave propagation. So here ionospheric wave propagation is very important, and different layers of the ionospheres are also important. So first we'll see the short questions as well as long question we'll see, and here theoretical question is going to come as well as some small derivations are there, like we have critical frequency, maximum visible frequency, line of sight. All these things are a small derivation that you can see. So let's see, first question is the define critical frequency. Still if you didn't subscribe our channel, please subscribe it and share with your friends. So you know that critical frequency is the frequency here, like in case of critical angle. Now here we are going to define the critical frequency. So that frequency, okay, so where it should come back to the earth. So that will be the maximum frequency that will, if wave is being transmitted from the earth, that will come back to the particular reflected from the particular layer, and it will come back to the earth station. So this is the highest frequency which can be reflected by particular layer in the vertical incidence. So here this angle is obtained here, fc equal to n root under 9 root under nm. So here already we have discussion about before in general about the normal frequency. So that expression is reduced here as the critical frequency. So it is the maximum frequency that will be reflected back towards the ground station by any layer of the atmosphere. Next question is about basic principle of the duct propagation. So here we have formation of the universal layers in the troposphere under some particular tropospheric conditions. So propagation in this layer is called as the duct. So formation of the duct takes place. So there you see that how formation of the ducts takes place, and multiple reflection takes place here in the troposphere, and finally it is returning back to the ground station only. What is the ground wave propagation? So this ground wave propagation here, wave is going to propagate with the help of surface of the earth. So finally, when it is moving away from the source, then you'll see that tilt angles are going to increase. So that here you are saying that wave is going to propagating around the surface. And here sometimes maybe one was question, what is the tilt angle? So here that is the deviation here. And when you are moving from the transmitter to receiver side, you are seeing that this angle is going to increase. That is the tilt here. That is called as the tilt angle. Next is the state the characteristics of ionospheric layer in sky wave propagation. So ionosphere is very important. Here we have different layers D, E, F1, F2, and F1, F2 layer is available only in the daytime that we can observe here. At night time it's going to merge, and only we'll have here E and F layer is going to available, and each and every layer having density. So that density, all this property you can explain in the long question. Similar question can be asked as the long question also, where you have discussion about various layers. Question is describe the structure of the ionosphere as well as how its layer add long distance communication at radio frequencies. So structures, this ionosphere is coming under the skywave propagation, and it has various parts. Name is what? Ionosphere. So here ionization of the molecules takes place, so that due to this ionizing agent, like we have alpha, beta, gamma and UV rays, so due to that ionization takes place, and different layers having different height here. Okay. So the basic layers are D, E, F1, F2, and these are the different heights. So it is having range from the 50 kilometers to 400 kilometers. And here you can see that how electron density is going to change. Apart from this, you have to explain each and every layers, like that what is the in which range of the height it is available, and what is the electron density per cubic centimeters, and how here ionization takes place. Again, we have a normal area region that is in 90 to 140 kilometers. And here if you see that frequency range, that critical frequency range is your 3 megahertz to 5 megahertz. and here electron density is 10 to power 5 to 4.5, 10 to power 5. Okay, during the daytime, and again at the night time, it's going to change. So we have again another is the ES, that is also part of, and here we have AIMS structure we are going to get here. In case of ES layer, it is being reflected back. Again, it is being reflected from the ES. Again, it's going back to F and coming back to the receiving antenna. So formation of M takes place. And here we have F1, F2 regions. That also regions is going to disappear in the night time, and it is available in the night time, but during the flowing regions, it is topmost layer. Okay, so F1, F2 is going to merge as the F layer. So that you are going to study here about F1 layers in the night. What are the range? What are the frequencies, the densities? Similarly for the F2 layer, again, range is here 250 to 400 kilometers. And what are the rays that is the responsible for the ionization? And this is their density. Okay. So these are the parts you have to explain about various layers, and you have to add the comments how this ionization is going to help in case of wave propagation also. Next question is derive the expression for the critical frequency and maximum visible frequency in case of free space wave propagation. So you are saying that many questions are from the free space wave propagation. So in the critical frequency, you have to draw out the diagram here. And when we are going to increase the height, this electron density is going to increase. And here we have rarer mediums, and here below we have denser medium. So this is the in terms of density as well as optically dense or rarer medium also. So this by Snell's law, we have mu, that is the refractive index, equal to sin I by sin R. And this is the critical frequency, that is the highest frequency that can be reflected towards the Earth. And again, finally here, refractive index, already this expression is derived. That is root under 1 minus 81 n f square. So finally here, at the vertical incidence, this angle, incidence angle is going to be 0, and will be the maximum, and f will reduce to the fc. Due to that, finally, this expression is reduced as critical frequency 9 times of root under nm. So similarly, these are the derivations we have. Apart from this, next they're asking about maximum visible frequency. We have maximum visible frequency. So it is also highest frequency which can be reflected back to the earth for a specific angle of incidence. Apart from the vertical incidence, like vertical incidence occur where in the critical angle. And here it has a range of frequency 8 megahertz to 35 megahertz. And in case of solar activity, maybe range will increase, that will go up to 50 megahertz. So here angle of incidence is any one apart from the 90 degree. So finally here reflection, that reflected angle is taken as the 90 degree. But after substituting that values, if you get f equal to, that is maximum visible frequency equal to fc into sec I. Fc is the critical frequency, and it is also called as the second law. Second law, since here it is the product of sec, and here this MUF is calculated for the two conditions. One case flat earth, another case is the curved earth. So in both condition, this derivation is there. If you are able to derive, it's not difficult. Just try to understand the diagram. In case of curved one, here this is the surface of the earth. Again, we have incident, reflected, and here this is the center of the earth is considered with earth radius is r. So these are antenna height and all these things are considered here. On the basis of that, you can calculate this maximum visual frequency in case of flat earth and in case of curved earth also. So next we'll see the another question. Next question is describe a space wave propagation and mechanism behind LOS and radio horizons. LOS is the line of sight. So here you'll see that its frequency is 30 megahertz to 3,000 megahertz, and it is used for the microwave communications, that is used for the television, radar, and frequency modulation. So in case of a space wave propagation, or when we'll talk about microwave communication, at the interval of every 50 kilometers, repeaters are used to maintain the line of sight. So this skywave propagation is also called as the line of sight propagation. Since here transmitting antenna and receiving antenna both are aligned together. And here now important concept is about line of sight and radio horizons. So here if you see that in case of curved earth, it is considered here, and this ionospheric regions that having above the earth's surface, so that discussion is here. So here we have transmitter, receivers, and this is height of the transmitting antenna. HR is the height of the receiving antenna. So finally, this line of sight generally considered the D1 plus D2. So now in this apply the Pythagoras theorem. So finally we have D1 equal to HT plus R square minus R square over the square root of this. And now you can expand this and some expression. If it is given, we can substitute here that values, that is the radius of the earth, that value is substituted here. So finally we are getting d equal to 3.57 root under inside the bracket root of the height of the antenna plus root of the height of the receiving antenna. So this expression is very important. Okay, this is about this line of sights and about the radio horizons also, how this transmitting antenna and receiving antennas going to face towards each others and they are aligned at the same level. Next question is explain the formation of the ionosphere and critical frequency in the sky wave. So this question already we have seen. Okay, how formation of the ions takes place. Same thing you have to explain as well as different layers, and you have to drive the critical frequency that F equal to n times of root under Nm. Nm is the maximum density. Apart from this, some important question, two important question is one is the tropospheric propagation, other is the duct propagation. One more is the ground wave propagation. That also can be the long question. So in the tropospheric wave propagation, this is also called as the scatter propagation. Since here we have formation of these certain properties that forming the scattering. So you know about this scattering effect. So here see that shortest path by which it is can go and longest path. Again, it is being reflected back due to a scattering here. Okay, and it is the forward scatters, and this is the back scattered. So that's coming before the receivers. And here we have some lost, and here this is not coming back at all. So that is the lost scattering, and where this ray is passing without any deviations. So this is called as the turbulence. When turbulence is going to occur, like in case of flight journey, also you have some turbulence also. So here this radius of earth curvatures as well as refractive earth radius, that calculation is there here in case of tropospheric wave propagations. And apart from this, next question you have about, so this is yet Pythagoras theorem you will apply, and proper diagram representation, you'll get the details about this. Another question is the duct propagation, that is called as the super reflection or M curves here. So that is happening again in the tropospheric regions in the 60 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And here formation of the inversion layers takes place. And here if you see that how temperature is going to increase and decrease in the different layers. So due to that your dielectric constant is being affected. And here again due to atmospheric conditions, sometimes we have turbulent and we are able to obtain the super reflection also. So that due to a special reflection of the electromagnetic wave, it is called as the super reflection, and this process is also called as the duct propagation. And this formation of the inversion layer takes place due to temperatures. Okay, so this diagram is important here, and then you can explain about M curves. This is for the surface duct, elevated duct, and ground-based duct. Apart from this, one more question you see about this ground wave propagation. Okay. Thank you very much. All the best for your exam. Listen read the question carefully, answer properly. Okay. Yes, sure, everybody is going to get the good marks. All the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.